Okay, good talk. I don't remember the names. Put down. Let's say the names. Leila Nishmas. We're learning again. Leila Nishmas. Shlomo Abba ben David HaKohen, Chaim Simcha ben Gershon, Aaron Nosson ben Moshe Shimon, and Yaakov ben Moshe. They should Neshama should have an aliyah. We should only Psudas titles. Okay, so I don't remember exactly what we discussed last week. Um, I mean, I remember, but I don't remember the pratim. There's a lot. There's a lot of information that we're going to try and cover tonight. So the questions for those here in person, try and if it's a pshat question that you would need to know pshat, so then speak up. If it's a stamakash or something else, please don't speak up until after. Those that are out there on Zoom, you could post if you have the ability to post questions in the Zoom, that's fine. If you're on a phone and you want to post, if you want to ask a question, so send it to the chat, to the Basar Bechalav chat, and then Elio Ikovic will post. At least he'll try, and we'll try and get to all the questions. Um, just because really when you're learning halacha, it's cumulative, meaning you don't have this excuse to say, oh, that's an old sugya, I'm not holding, right? That doesn't work in this business, if that's what you want to call it. So you have to, it's cumulative. So I'll just bring up a question somebody asked me based on the previous Siman very quickly, because although if we do it this way, we'll never get anywhere. And the point is to get somewhere, right? I have you in my head. And that is, so we said you can't eat milchiks and fleishiks on the table at the same time. So we had nidarim, we had different scenarios of nidarim, chometz on Pesach, meaning things that you're badal minay. So let's say you're eating fleishiks and your friend eats not cholav Yisrael on the table, and you never eat not cholav Yisrael. So he's eating Entenmann's or Hershey's next to you. So is that considered badal? Are you considered separated from that, and then you could eat your fleishiks on the table next to him or not? I don't know the answer. I thought yeah, but I'm not sure. You're certainly not going to find it in Shulchan Aruch, because in Shulchan Aruch there's no such thing as cholav stam, because it's all awesome. But that was okay. So yeah, no, there was nothing underhanded about that statement. But it was just an interesting question, because you're bottle, right? You understand the question. You're bottle from it, so you're never eating Hershey's. So then maybe that would be no problem. Okay, I'm not sure. Anyway, so we started last week Siman Pei Tes, right? That the waiting 6 hours. So we read that we'll read the Mechaber again, but we said that the Machlokes Rishonim, Rashi, and the Rambam, why it is that you have to wait 6 hours. Either it's because the meat gets stuck in your teeth, or because you keep that taste of that basar in your mouth, in whatever, in your stomach, in your intestines, it sticks for 6 hours. Where does 6 hours come from? That's a little unclear, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that by tonight. So let's just read the Mechaber, and then we have a long Ramah, and then we will have. There's not so much on the daf itself to read here, but there's a lot of achreinish shilas that come up. I started already compiling shilas last week that come up on this subject, and I don't know if I should send them out all at once or I should send them out like piecemeal. I don't know what is the item, meaning the shilas that you're without the chuvas that you're supposed to come out from tonight being able to answer, right? Or at least have know where to look and know where the sugya comes from. So I'm not sure how that'll be, but I will. You will be getting bombed with lots of shilas this week. It's typed up. The shilas are typed up. The shilas when to send them out. Okay, so again, just the mechaber quickly, which we read last week. Ochel basar afilu shel chaya v'oif. If you eat meat, even of a chaya and a oif, meaning those are the rabbanon. Lo yochel gavina acharav. You're not allowed to eat cheese afterwards. This will come up, that diak, that you're not allowed to eat cheese afterwards. Mashma, that maybe a food that gets cooked with cheese, maybe you could have afterwards, possibly, but we'll see. Ad sheyisha sheishas, you have to wait 6 hours. Vafilu imshar kashir, and even if you wait kashir, if you wait those 6 hours, and yesh basar ben shinayim, if there's meat in between your teeth, then tzarich lasira, you still have to remove it. So, and this comes up, Shabbos morning, you had meat Friday night, Shabbos morning, 12 hours after you went to sleep, maybe, or 8 hours, or more than six, probably, right? And you have meat in your teeth, so now you can't just ignore it. The Shulchan Aruch is saying you got to take it out, right? You got to take out the meat. Now, if you don't take out the meat, so then what? You can't eat dairy. If you feel meat in your teeth, right? So then you cannot drink your coffee, right? That's what the Shulchan Aruch is saying. So you'd have to get your toothpick or whatever, your floss, and you will have to. You can hear me over there? Can you hear me down there? Yes. And you'll have to floss. Now, what happens if you floss and you get blood from your flossing? That's il chashav, right? But you're going to have a problem, right? Now, what happens if you swallowed that meat after 8 hours? You did it, you felt it, you got it out with your tongue, and then you swallowed that meat, right? So now what? You have to wait another 6 hours?
It's disgusting, no.
What?
It's disgusting.
Well, so is it disgusting or not?
That's what we said from last week. It's disgusting.
Oh, so l'chayr, it's disgusting. So we said this. I think we discussed last week, right? Very good. Badei Shulchan is the only one that I know that's machmer and says you have to wait another 6 hours. Most other poskim say by then it's already decayed and you don't have to. Which leads us to a different question. There's a Pirush in Shulchan Aruch called the Hafla. I don't know if anybody heard of him. Doesn't say a minimum measurement. You always feel terrible when somebody asks a shayla that the kid decided, let's go with a 13-year-old. We'll get to what age you have to start keeping later. Right? As the 13-year-old kid comes home and he tastes, or he's in yeshiva and he tastes a little bite of the yeshiva's fleishiks and he swallows it. And what's the din? Do you have to wait now or not? Is there a minimum shear? And if anything, in halacha, there's always a minimum shear, right? Kazayas, right? The basic minimum shear is kazayas. Shulchan Aruch doesn't mention, we haven't done the Ramah, and the Ramah doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything. Trust me on this one. It doesn't say anything in Shulchan Aruch about the minimum amounts, right? And there is no minimum. The Hafla says, and the Raya is from the Basar ben Shinayim. How big is the Basar? I mean, unless your teeth are really bad, the Basar ben Shinayim is very small, right? Yet you have a problem. You got to remove that basar shebena shinayim. That's one of the. I don't remember if that's Hafla's raya or not, but that's one of the rayas that they bring. Bottom line is there is no minimum amount, and as sad as it is for this little poor kid who took one little bite of the fleishiks, and even if it's chicken, and he's got to wait 6 hours. What should I tell you? It's unless you want to start using combination of heterim, etc., you can maybe do that. But in the basic understanding, there is no minimum. Right? Okay, so that's an important point because you feel. I mean, you do feel bad about. I mean, at least it'd be good if you feel bad. But
when the Shulchan Aruch says you have to remove the meat between your teeth, he means before eating milk. I just want to clarify.
yes,
Okay.
yes. That is an acceptable question to ask. Right? I mean, for now. Later, you can ask whatever you want. Okay, but then the next line is va'aloyas latinok tzarich lahamtin, and if you do chew, you could sit on this chair if you want. No. Va'aloyas latin. Oh, this here. Va'aloyas latinok tzarich lahamtin. If you chew for a child, then you have to wait 6 hours. What's the pshat in that? Because we're chayshish. You see that we're chayshish for the shita that says that it's in your teeth, right? Since you chewed for the child, so then you have a problem.
It's only the chumrah, not l'kula.
We go l'chumra, not l'kula. Yes. Yeah. So look at the Piskei Tshuva Aleph, Sheish Shois. So you have to wait 6 hours. We didn't do this last week, right? I don't think so. Yeah.
Let me check quickly.
It's a wicked.
No.
Okay. Sheish Shois. I and Shach. What's that? Did we do the Shach? We did the we did the Shach.
No, we did it.
We did the Ta. Okay, the Ta's in the Shach, but in we didn't do we did the Taz. We didn't do the Shach. Okay, let's do the Shach. Should we do the Shach or should we shorten it? I'm spending more time clearing it than okay, Lashon. We'll do the Shach. Since it's important, we'll do the Shach. Yeah. Achi Yesha Shach Beis. Zel Lashon Atur u'b'soich sheish shois afilu ein basa ben shinayim aser. right? The Torah writes, because meaning if you just look at the Shulchan Aruch, he's talking about with the teeth, right? So let's say you know that there's no meat in your teeth, so do you have to wait 6 hours? No, you went to the dentist an hour after you ate, which is not a smart idea, anyways, for the dentist's sake. But an hour after you ate, you went to the dentist, he cleared everything out. You have to wait 6 hours? Yeah, savada, because of the other shita, right? So see the lashon adzman oruch for a long time. Ulefize hatam im loy ochlu el shalasu latinoik. Ulefize hatam, I'm sorry, im loy ochlu. If you didn't eat it, el shalasu latinoik ain't tzarich lahamtin. You don't have to wait. Why? The kivan shaloi ochlu ain't a moitzi tam. Since you didn't eat it, it's not moitzi tam. Meaning you only have the reason for Rambam, right? But I mean that's the first reason because it's moishav tam. For Rambam nasan tam l'shehiyah mishum basar shbein hashinayim. The Rambam says it's because the meat in between the teeth. And if you chew for a child, then you'd have to wait according to the Rambam. Right? It's good. He says it's toiv to grab literally the shnei atam. Akan l'shan. V'zbaru divrei machaber v'tarazov kosav b'toy chazman afilu ein basar bein hashinayim asur lefisha basar moitzi shuman or moitzi tam adzman aruch. Meaning if the basar is moitzi um, moitzi shuman, moitzi tam until zman aruch lefika. Em loy ochlu ela shalosu letinak tzarach lahamtin. Afagav shaloi ochlu mikol mokum tam basar nishar loy bepiv umashach loy tam shuman ki'ilu ochal akan l'shanim b'dvar tmuin. There he's saying it's a dvar of tmuin, meaning he's being machmer because he says that it's moishach tam even if you just chewed, right? What has in Moishech Tam if you just chewed and you didn't swallow it? Okay, so that's a tzara. That he's saying is a dvar of tmuin. How you could say that, right? Okay, so that was basically the shach is coming out that if you chewed, so according to the Rambam, you have to wait 6 hours and otherwise not.
Could you add them together and clean out your teeth?
What?
If you clean out your teeth and you just chew.
If you cleaned out your teeth and you also, so we'll get to the chew. Let's see. So ayin now pischei tshuva aleph sheishois ayin shach im loyas latinuk tavshil sheyesh boy shumon. So let's say we haven't gotten to tavshil. This is talking about where you ate pure basar and pure chicken. Sif gimel, which if I was writing Shulchan Aruch, I would have put Sif gimel by Sif beis. But Baruch Hashem, I'm not writing Shulchan Aruch, right? But meaning it's because Sif beis talks about the opposite, cheese and then meat, and then he goes back to tavshil shabbat. Tavshil shabbat is basically a potato from the cholent. Right, you have to wait 6 hours for a potato from the chunk, right? So that it's a whole different set of dinim, which is in Siv Gimel. But the shach is referring loyas latinik tavshil sheyesh by shuman lechayra lechola pirushim ain't sarach lahamtin. Right? You're eating let's call a potato from the chunk tavshil shabasar. Bez Hashem next week we'll discuss whether that's tavshil shabasar or not. But let's say you took a potato from the chunk, so then and you chewed it for the child and then you spit it out. So Pischei Tshuva was saying, according to all pirushim ain't tzarich lahamtin the moishech leka kiven deloy achal. Right? There's no moishech because you didn't eat it. Bein shinayim leka, there's nothing with the teeth because it's not meat. You ate a potato. Potato doesn't get stuck in the teeth, at least not for as long as meat. Right? So elad mikol mokum kasu primagodim the eish lahachmer lahamtin sheishos mishum loy plug v'loy lifroid together. Right, it's a loy plug and loy lifroid together. Now, to me, that sounds like a major chumrah. This whole thing is a chumrah. Right? There's no issa. It's not close to issa deraisa. This is the rabbanan that you shouldn't have milk after meat. And here we're talking about where you just chewed it, you didn't swallow it, and it doesn't get stuck in your teeth yet. The Prima Godam is still saying you should be machmer because of a loy plug and not to be put together. It's a pretty big chumrah, right? Pretty big chumrah. Yeah. So the ma'isa, how we know if you chewed and you spit it out. So it's rough. It's a tough shaila because you have this Prima Godam, right? So. It really depends on how desperate the person is to have. No, really, it depends on the situation, right? If they made milchiks for supper and for lunch, somebody chewed the meat for the kid and then spit it out, so then it could have ramifications. Now, once we're on the subject, a little out of order, but look at Rabbi Kiva Eger, the second Rabbi Kiva Eger. Achar achilas basar legvino. Right? And he says, Efsha, meaning he's going on that the Ramah is going to go back and forth, which we haven't looked at it yet. Really, Rabbi Kiva Eger should be done after the Ramah, but because he discusses this, so we'll just say it here. It says after the daik bazeh, you can be medayik in this lashon Ramah the la'achar achila huda machmiran. We're only machmir 6 hours after you eat. All right. Aval achar liisa, but with after chewing, the lav hachi yesh matirin legamri. Even without what the Ramah is talking about, there are those that are matir legamri. Ein mamtinin sheishoy, so then you don't have to wait 6 hours. So Rabbi Kiva Eger seems to be going more lakula here, that you don't have to wait 6 hours if you just chew. But the shaila is he saying ein mamtinin sheishoy, so therefore you have to wait nothing, or maybe wait at least an hour, right? But you certainly have that Rabbi Akiva Eiger is being more makel seemingly than the Pri Megadim, and he's talking about actual meat. He's not even talking about tavshil shavasa like the Pri Megadim was talking about. He's talking about actual meat that that it's possible that you could be makel. Okay, so let's see what was asked over here. Someone doesn't have teeth. Let's say somebody doesn't have teeth, right? No, you have people that don't have teeth. So then if there's no teeth to have the gzeira. So okay. So if they swallowed, so we go with we go l'chumra for both. Fine. But if they didn't swallow and they just chewed, I hear it's a good question. I hear it's l'chayr, it's the same. I would think it's the
How do you pull that off, Zephyr?
chewing, you have gums. I'm assuming it could work.
Meat can't do that.
What meat you can't chew? What?
You have 2 sets, milk and pleasure. You don't do it 6 hours? You don't chewing?
I mean, you take them out.
You take it
I
out.
hear you take out your false teeth and then
Butcher.
yeah. Okay. Next question. The other question is why do some people hold into the 6? Let's see the Ramah.
What if you clean out your teeth after you chew? And
No,
then
so as we said, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. We're machmir for both. We're machmir for both.
the reason still apply because you cleaned out your teeth already.
Is you because you cleaned out your teeth?
Right.
No, but it's with machmir that you swallowed.
Let's say you don't swallow.
So you just chewed. So then it gets l'chor. It's the same machlokes. That's what I would say. Okay, let's see the Ramah. Yeah.
So you clean it off, or they?
No, a hot potato in the meat, like a potato or a vegetable, from the soup, like a soup vegetable.
You don't clean it off.
You put it right in your mouth. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see the Ramah. The okay, this Ramah can make your head into a blender, shtickle, because he goes back and forth and then back and around in a circle. Yeah. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not like you bump circles. Okay. It's just puts you into circles. Let's say you find, really, we should have read this Ramah before I said. Okay. If you find meat, if you find meat in your teeth and you remove it, so now there's another step that you have to do. Then you have to wash out your mouth. Okay? All right. Now, let's do the whole Ramah and then we'll go back. Yeah? I'm just trying to figure out how to do this the fastest way possible. So again, the first thing the Ramah says is that if you find the meat in your teeth, you not only have to remove it, you also have to wash out you have to wash out your mouth, and you have to. Well, he just says wash out your mouth. We'll get back to that. Now, okay, now we're back to the 6 hours. You don't have to wait 6 hours, right? Machaber says you have to wait 6 hours. Ramah is bringing Yesham. You don't have to wait 6 hours. Rak miyad im silek. As soon as you remove the meat from the table, ubeirach birchas hamazon. You have to say birchas hamazon. Mutar al yedei kinuach v'hadacha. Then all you need to do is wipe your mouth and wash out your mouth, which we'll see in the next sif what exactly that is. Right? But let's just kinuach hadacha. Basically, you drink something and you eat something that will, but it can't be stam like something that's smooth. It has to be something a shtickle rough, right? That will basically what you want is you want to remove that meat residue from the inside of your mouth. So you take a drink, and you also eat something. Which, by the way, you're supposed to do between meat and fish. Once we're discussing it, right? That's everybody's so busy taking a l'chaim between the meat and the fish. That covers you for the hadacha part. It does not cover you for the kinuach part. And really, you're supposed to eat something in between the fish and the meat, which I think many do because they end up eating challah. But well, soup is flesh.
Like chew on the rice before you chew on like the fish.
Okay, I don't know how it works with sushi. I don't know. Put that into the sushi kilchasa sefer, right? But you need kinuach and hadacha. What?
Fish you got the milk.
We're gonna get that's in sif beis. Yeah. Okay, but meaning the Ramah says here, this first sheet that he brings, you don't have to wait at all. 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, 1 minute, right? Just depends how long it takes you to bench, right? But or say we'll see it means a bracha achrayna also, right? All you need to do is make a bracha achrayna, take a drink, eat something, and then you could eat.
So you do the kinuach in the dag before breakfast, and it has to be after.
Doesn't make a difference. You can either way, right? If you go with the order of the Ramah, it's Birchas Hamazon first, and then yeah. Okay, that's first sheet. V'aminig ha'pashut b'medinas elu lahamtin achar achilas basar sha'achas. Now sheet number 2. The minig that's pashut in our medinas is to wait after you eat meat 1 hour. That's a very important line in the Ramah. And then you could eat afterwards cheese. Right? Miyu tzrichim levarich gamkin birchas hamazon achar habasar, but you have to say birchas hamazon after eating the meat. So shita number 2 in the Ramah is an hour. So first shita, no wait. Okay, so far we're up to 3 shitas. Mechaber 6 hours. Yeshayimim in the Ramah, no hours. Then the minig 1 hour. All right. Does now why do you have to say birchas hamazon? Does havi kesuda acheres? It's another suda. The mutar lechol divrei hamakilim that you're allowed to eat according to the makilim. But without birchas hamazon, loy mahani amton hasha. An hour does not help. Ve'ein chiluk im himtin hasha koydem birchas hamazon achar oy achar kach. It doesn't make a difference if that hour you wait that hour before benching or after benching. It just has to be in a separate. It has to be in a separate suda and an hour. Okay. There was once a macha. Believe it or not, this doesn't really apply to us. But sometimes you could have Hasidische Farbrengens that could take 6-7 hours. And chasanas too, meaning they have mitzvah and the chasanas they could wash at like 8 o'clock. Mitzvah are still going at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And then they want to start having a coffee with milchiks and they didn't bench yet. That's a problem, right? You have to bench. You can't, even it could be 10 hours, 12 hours. You have to bench, right? First, or say bracha achrayna. What? Right. It has to be a separate suda. Okay. That's that.
Only for Ashkenazim, though.
What? Only for Ashkenazim. Well, the chayra only for Ashkenazim. Yeah.
Isn't like a Mars type from one soup to another? So it's not sure like
Okay, we're gonna get to that. Vim matzah basar ben shinov achar hasha. And if you find meat in between your teeth after the hour, tzarach lenakroi ul hasiroi, then you have to remove it. You have to clean out your teeth and you have to remove it. Okay, fine.
Those that hold like an hour have to do both waiting. We do the whole hour again also if they swallow it.
No, you don't have to wait that hour again. No. Here now, this is a brachas issue, right? You should not make a birchas hamazon in order to eat cheese, because then it's a bracha she'eina tzricha, which is a whole tumult. Well, is that really a bracha she'eina tzricha? Because it really is a tzarich, right? But there are those that say not to do it. Shaila is you make a hefsig, you wait a half hour or whatever it is. Yeah, avol ein nizaron bezeh, but people are not careful with this. Fine. We'll get back to that. V'yesh medaktikin lahamtin sheishois achar achilas basar legvina v'chein nochain lasais. Okay, so now we came full circle. All right, so Rama went around in the circle, and now we're back to you should wait 6 hours. It's interesting his lashon. V'yesh medaktikin lahamtin. I mean, to do like the Shulchan Aruch it should be a little bit stronger than medaktikin. No, medaktikin sounds like there's some fruma guys that wait 6 hours, and that's taka the right thing to do. But
Could be
um,
CS.
what?
Could have been CS. Could have known where
It could be. It could be. Now, ches. Let's just jump to the shach ches for a second. V'chein nochen lasos, v'chein kosem marshal, v'chein roy lasos, l'chol mi sheyesh by reach Torah. Ayin sham. Right. So if you have a reach of Torah, so you wait 6 hours. Okay. So Baruch Hashem, Klal Yisrael, it seems, has a reach of Torah, right? Because most of Klal Yisrael waits 6 hours.
So
Right.
Yakish,
But
no?
last night I heard Rory said that he doesn't think Rory has her after.
I don't know if I have a reach of Torah. Yes, but I wait 6 hours. So I have episareach, or episareach of something.
So yeah,
But,
Svardim.
Okay, so Svardim for sure wait 6 hours. That's not a question. Okay, the Yeki's
Svardim.
3 hours.
Some Svardim.
Now what's that? Okay, so now look at Gimel in the Pischei Tshuva. We're flying around here, but look at Gimel in Pischei Tshuva because that seems to be the hot button topic here of where is everybody getting into this not waiting 6 hours. Yeki's 3 hours.
Lakewood.
Lakewood, of course.
What do you
Right.
like?
I think.
5.5. Sheish shoys. You see the Pischei Tshuva Gimel? Sheish shoys. Ayin,
Which one? There's two of them.
what?
There's two.
Gimel.
Gimel. You have two Sheish shoys? Oh, the first Sheish shoy. That we did already. Yeah, okay. Sheish shoys. Ayin berhetiv shel marid sal. That's not the berhetiv on the daf. Imheim shoys manias. Are they shoys manias? Ah, okay. 1 second, but that's why would shoys? Because all shoys and halacha are shoys manias, which would mean that in the winter, well, listen, we're looking for a tatum, not for 6 hours, right? So shoys manias will. What's a shoys manias now? Between 45 and 50 minutes, right? Is an hour halachic hour now.
Depends if you day or night.
What?
Depends
It's
if you
if you're eating day or night, yeah, right?
So not like the Moshe where it's like shorter in the morning, longer.
Yeah, okay, whatever the cheshbonis are, but you can knock off from 6 hours. You knock off 15 minutes for 6 hours. Now you just knocked it down to 4 hours. What? Or add depending. Correct? Correct. Yeah. I creates a place between Megadim and Chachmasanu sheskimu l'das hakneses hagdolah de'einam zmanias ayin sham v'chein haminig. The minig, as we know, is not shoys manias. Okay, hold off on that brackets. Remind me that we have to go back to that brackets. Where's the Gilliam Mashah? The Gilliam Mashah. Yeah, Lahampton Shei Shois. You see it? Hampton it's the third Gilliam Mashah. I think, as we've said, the Gilliam Mashah is not the Marshah of the Gemara. It's Reb Shlomo Eiger, right? That's hence the word Marshah. He says Ratzalaymar. Ratzalaymar. Misuda lasuda. What it means, shei shois. I mean, why? Where do you get shei shois? Because that's the normal length in between sudas, right? I don't know which sudas, not in America, right? But so that might play into it. Ratzalaymar misuda lasuda. V'afshe b'chayrev ein bein suda tzarayim lasudas arvis kiyim daled shois. Even though there is only 4 hours in between sudas in the winter. Muskum, and that is muskum. So now you see again from the Gilei Mashal, there's this concept that the 6 hours is really only from one Suda to the other Suda. Right? Okay, so now so far we didn't see anything with 3 hours. 3 hours is really unclear where it comes from. The Chochmas Adam says we wait 6 hours, that is the halacha, and also very strong lashon there. That if you don't wait 6 hours, you put it together. You are breaking down the walls that the Chachamim put up. The rest of it is part together. Yishchanu Nachash, right? That a snake will bite you. Meaning, that's why it became so severe in Klal Yisrael that we wait 6 hours. Okay, so I think we mentioned it a little bit. The Shaila is the Lashon in the Rambam, and there's a Meiri also that they don't say Shei Shois, they say Kish Shei Shois. So the shaila is, what is the kir? Kir means like 6 hours. I don't think anybody went into 6 hours and plus. That kir, I don't think anybody said. But the kir to earlier, so some say five. Kir is okay. So get at least closer to 6. So that's 5 hours 31 minutes. And others say it means even 5 hours and 1 minute. There's different ways of understanding, but that's where they come from. Rabban Kotler obviously held for the Sidrei HaYeshiva, that is better to wait. I don't know if it's better to that you can wait five and change, 5.5, whatever it is. The big shot that comes up, that the guys that go to Lakewood for yeshiva, do they have to be mataneder? You have to be mataneder now. You wait 6 hours, then you go to BMG, and now you gotta wait. Now you want to eat milchiks. So do you have to be mataneder? So that
How long do
we'll
they-
get into that. What?
How long do they wait?
Five, they weigh 5 or 5.5. I don't know what time. 5.5. It's 5.5. I think that's what I remember. 5.5. I personally, when I was there, I came out, didn't eat in yeshiva. That was a different story. They didn't have as good a food as they have now. Different door. I'm from a different door. Okay. So
Who does Kishay Shavs?
the Rambam's lashon is ki or kimoy or ki, depending on the girsa. Kimoy sheisha is kish sheisha.
Maybe said
So that's what they're coming
you
from.
might not shalos. You should even change. You can follow.
No, when you're in yeshiva, you can do like the minhag of the makom, that you can wait the 5.5 hours. Yeah, that's 100%. The question is, should you be mataneder or not on such a thing?
For the guys who come every week for showers.
Maybe you're not really part of yeshiva. I get okay, whatever it
If
is.
you're in someone's house for Shabbos, like that's what they do in Shalosh Sudos, they have dairy in 5 hours, 5.5 hours. So it's like a minhag makom thing, like you adapt and you're like,
The problem is you can just say you're not interested in dairy. Meaning the reason why you do minhag is you don't want to make machlokes. You don't want to make machlokes. You don't want to stand out. But I mean, it's not unheard of not to have dairy, especially nowadays that so many people are dairy lactose intolerant so I don't believe not having dairy will be a problem. So I think if you went away for Shabbos, I would think you should not have it. But I don't know. You ask an individual question. But an interesting thing on that same subject, there are a lot of poskim that on Shavuos say you don't have to wait 6 hours. Because it's I think the Yerabim, it's broad in the poskim, serious poskim, not right. That on Shavuos you don't have to wait 6 hours because you're spending so much time in shul and you're gonna digest it fast. There's all sorts of titles about it. I never heard anybody. Actually, I may have heard of somebody being makel, but it's there. It's there in the poskim that for Shavuos you can theoretically make. Also, some players can want to say maybe this is what we can rely on in Lakewood, is we said last week. I think we mentioned last week that some say that if you take a long sleep, then you digest it faster. The story of the Chassam Sofer, there's different versions of the story of the Chassam Sofer, but that you have a night sleep. So some say it's a night sleep, some say it's just a sleep of kavua. I think in BMG it's a pretty stark minute to sleep in a storm. No, so Mamela, maybe you use that as a tziruf.
I heard it was a scale.
What?
I heard it
Yeah.
was a scale.
So that could play maybe with the Gilgul Mashah, right? Meaning that it's different. It's once it's supper, it's a supper time, and because it's a different, meaning it's a different zman that you're eating. Really, it's from one suda to the next. Again, we're talking about the Rabbanon here, right? It was a takana that the Chachamim made up. Even though there's one sheet in the Gemara, you have to wait 24 hours, right? But meaning it's made. The concept is made up. So Memela, there's room to maneuver. Let's call it that. Again, you can't go against Shulchan Aruch. The default is 6 hours.
Can I tell people you said it's made up, or is that?
I don't mean made up, meaning it's a made. Meaning there are.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Jackie's at 3 hours.
Yeah, there's really no makar as far as I know for 3 hours. There's, I think, a Rabbeinu Yerucham that the Beis Yosef brings that says Masha something like that. I don't remember. You check it in the Beis Yosef, or somebody brings us a Rabbeinu Yerucham that of a 3 hour thing. But l'chayr, that's what's coming from the Gilgul Mashah. Shoismanias. That's what they say. It's Shoismanias. Is this that? You cannot rely on the 3 hours unless you have a Masorah for that.
What's it gonna say?
Right. That's the way it was from
He has to
Piyakis.
double
Meaning,
dose,
you have to be in the club. You can't get into the club.
No, that's the
You
getting it. So it's the grandfather said that, or great grandfather saying.
if he started, this comes up. It's actually
Family, get to America,
Fed-
so we make one.
if it's a no, it's got to be legitimate. I think it has to be legitimate
But
family
let's
medical.
say theoretically, someone's family came to America, they went off of there, then he
Let
went
us
over there,
this question.
and he's like 95% sure that was a minute. He's not like completely sure, and he decides to wait
These
3 hours.
these childers do come up. They come up, and
I
I don't know.
that was my fault. That's my fault. So I
Oh.
only wait 3 hours because of that.
Okay,
So
it's
wondering what-
it's not so simple, right? It's not so simple at all, to be honest with you. Okay, now, yeah. Okay, what did we miss in the Shach?
He also has the practice.
We'll get to the brackets of Biscuit Tshuva. Okay, the B'Shach Vav brings that we're saying Birchas Hamazon. Not only is Birchas Hamazon, but it's obviously any bracha achrona. You'd have to make a bracha achrona if you just had meat without a suda. Back then they ate everything with bread, so that's what he keeps saying Birchas Hamazon. But it means that you have to make a bracha achrona, bracha butter nefashos. If you decide to have poppers or whatever it is, you have to make a bracha achrona if you're gonna eat milchiks. Yes, that's even for 6 hours. I saw it popped up on one of the questions here that even if you wait 6 hours, you have to make a bracha achrona. What?
Why is that the case that you have to wait to, you have to make a broken brain?
Because it's got to be from one suda to the next. That's really the real din is from one suda to the other suda. It's not so much a din in 6 hours. That's what we were saying. It became adopted that we wait 6 hours, but it's really from one suda to the to the other suda. Now, a question that comes up. Actually, somebody texted me tonight, so it'll be sent out for those that want to cheat on the test that doesn't have any marks, just the test, the questions, right? Does the 6 hours start from when you finish the meal, or does it start from the last bite of meat that you took? What? Aruch HaShulchan, yeah, there's Aruch HaShulchan, and there's Meduyik in here too. So that the 6 hour clock starts from the last bite that you had. It doesn't start, even though, I mean, you would, based on what we're saying that it goes from Suda to Suda. So maybe, and there are shitas that say it, that the clock starts after Birchas Hamazon.
Even for, say, the case of the potato on the shop.
Yeah, and in all cases, it would start. The clock starts from the end of the Suda. That's not the way we paskin. The clock starts from the end, the last time you ate meat, and the clock. You don't have to wait 6 on the other end when you start a milchik meal. The clock. Well, meaning you could start your milchik meal within 6 hours. Right? Meaning you think, okay, so maybe I can't start my dairy meal. Let's say I had fleishiks today, I had a suda 2 o'clock, and then I have malava malk at 7. So maybe I can't start my milchik suda until 8, because I need to wait 6 hours before the next suda. Or do I just wait until, just make sure you don't have milchiks for 6 hours? So in both ends, we say that the clock starts the last time you had a bite of meat, and it starts and it ends with the first bite of dairy. Doesn't go from Suda to Suda, even though we just said that the Iker Din is from Suda to Suda. Right? But that's not the way it goes. That's not the way most paskin paskin. Yeah. Okay. Um, let's see what else. Uh, so what happens if you're masupik? Let's say you're masupik. This happens in the winter a lot. In the winter on Shabbos. So you're not sure when, right? What time was the Suda over? Right. So now when does the clock start on that? Right. I mean, you benched at 3 o'clock, let's say. But you had dessert, etc., etc. So you have no idea when you finished. So now, what would you say? You're masupik about the 6 hours. So you would say a sabik derabanan lakula, l'chayre, right? Sabik derabanan lakula, and whatever you think the 6 hours is the 6 hours. However, and this is just a preview for what's coming, Bez Hashem. Well, maybe it's not so much in Basar Bechalav, a little bit, but in Taruvas, which is if it's a davar sheyesh lo matirin, then you don't have a suffix l'kula. So there is a davar sheyesh lo matirin. Just control yourself from eating dairy for another half hour, and then you have no shaila. Meaning when Pesach, how come Pesach chametz is not bottled? One of the reasons. Because chametz fell into your food, okay, so put your food away till after Pesach, and then you have no shaila. Then you can eat it.
Isn't there
Right?
isn't there like a class of chametz shalos?
Okay, but that's a different issue. I'm not going to say chametz shalom Pesach. It's bottle. If it's bottle b'shishim on Pesach we're machmer, after Pesach we're not going to be machmer. So it's a davar sheyesh matirin. So here too, it's a davar sheyesh matirin.
That's cool.
Right. So on this, the poskim say that this is brought in the Darkei Tshuva, is you don't say davar sheyesh matirin when you could eat now and eat later. Meaning davar sheyesh matirin. Okay, it's a whole sugya. But davar sheyesh matirin is if you want something now, right, and later. Meaning this is a combination. You have the opportunity to eat it now and to eat it later. Then you don't say it's a davar sheyesh matirin because you're missing out. Meaning right now I want to eat milchiks, so you tell me to wait. Right? Meaning it's not necessarily usher now. On Pesach, it's a vadai and an isser, right? But if you hear on right now I want to have it, and I'm not gonna be able to have it, so that's not considered okay. It's a complicated thing, but that's bottom line is the poskim say that if you masupik about it, even though it is a davar sheyesh matirin, you are allowed to be makel. So when this shaila comes up, you can say with certainty that 6 hours you can whatever time you masupik about, that's when time you can start the clock. You don't have to be machma, right? Along the same lines, if you're not sure if there was fleishiks in the food, so that's also a suffix. So in that situation, well, taste the food. If you still have it left, if you don't have food left, so again, suffix the rabbanon, you can be makel. Right, but if there's food left in, and l'chara taste it, if it tastes like it has meat or chicken in there, then you now you messed yourself up. Okay, that's true, but yeah, but that's l'chara that you have the ability to be mavar. Right?
We say suffix on that like the clue meaning you don't have to wait at all.
What?
We're saying if we don't know if there was meat in the food, you wouldn't have to wait at all.
If you're masupik, yes. If you're masupik, you don't have to wait. But unless the food's there and you can taste it, then that's not a suffix.
You can ask the chef.
You could, or you can do if the chef's around. Now another thing. So let's say you make a bracha. You made a bracha on milchiks, and then you realize that you're fleishiks. So then what do you do then?
Depends if it's an hour.
What? So let's say within the hour and after the hour. So after the hour, it's pretty pashut that you should eat it, right? But what happens if you know there's meat in between your teeth? You feel it. So then, b'chayra, what you should do is clean out your teeth. It's a shtickle hefsek, but
Should you try swallowing a little piece without chewing?
you should. I would say it's probably better. I mean, stick it to the back of your throat.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe. But certainly after an hour, you should eat it. Within an hour, also pashtus is you should, but you should be more careful to see if you have anything in your teeth. Then you should.
Well, what's the hour
Remove it.
thing? The Rama said even right away.
What?
Well, what's the din of the hour? Meaning that was just one of the sheep, basically.
Right, because he says minig haposhet b'medina seinu is you wait 1 hour. So that's why. That's for Ashkenazim the ikr is an hour. That's what we come out with the Ramah. So okay, so Lorna,
Let's clarify the last point again. If you make a bracha on milk and you remember your fleishik, what should you do?
you should taste it, and that's it. You should taste it, and that's I mean, taste it and swallow. Unless you know you have meat in your teeth, then quickly take. I don't know if you have access to it, or a toothpick or something, and try and take it, or maybe wash your mouth out with something, and then take it. Certainly, if there's parav around, then eat the parav.
You can make
Right.
another bracha on that. You could do that.
If it was, that's what I'm saying. It was around. If it was in front of you,
want to
it's in front. Yeah, if it was in front of you, certainly eat the parav, right? Okay, another common question. Yeah, are we overloading on information here? Okay, the guy's eating fleischiks and then he forgets and he starts eating milchiks. Can he continue eating his meal, or should he stop?
Which meal you want to continue?
You went. You ate lunch at 2 o'clock in yeshiva. 4 o'clock, you went to the candy machine, got yourself a milchik chocolate bar. You're halfway through, and your chavrusa says, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, what?
We can continue eating.
You could continue eating.
Yeah.
Oh, I stopped.
The acre's 1 hour. Anyways, you forgot. Anyways, you already killed it. You messed yourself over. Anyways, already.
Messed up.
Oh, so
Papa Chaim, right?
If it's
is a
me,
kafachayim. Very good, very good. Kafachayim is makel. The kafachayim is makel.
You already had it.
I forget already now who the other ones. There's a few major poskim who are makel. The leader of it is the kafachayim, meaning
Shasha meeting your teeth.
no. If you feel that's meeting your teeth, then you serve. Then you can't
Should
do
you
it.
wash your mouth first? Like try cleaning it out?
Yeah.
Late already.
Once
I mean, look,
can you wash out your mouth and then continue?
What?
In the first hour.
I don't remember. The kafachayim is makel. I think even in now. I think so. Oh,
So according to
most poskim. I know there's one posik in Eretz Yisrael. I know because somebody came after me when I told him you got to be machmer, and he called me this posik called it's mutter. I said, what should I tell you? From what I understand, most poskim say you cannot continue. You cannot continue your meal. You got to stop. Which makes sense to me. Like just because you cheated, so you should. I mean, you cheated, big mistake, but you should just get away with your cheating even more, right?
those of time, if you realize that there's meat in your mouth and you wash out your mouth, can you continue eating it even after?
Washed it.
For enough time.
I don't know. But anyway, so Lamaisi, there's Yesham Lismach. If you want to continue that meal,
Oh yeah.
then you can continue. You can continue the meal.
From now on, right? You're not meat anymore once you go back.
Well, so you always get, not always, once in a blue moon, somebody decides to eat blue cheese. No, cheese, 6 hour cheese. If a guy eats fleischiks and then 2 hours later decides to eat Parmesan cheese, that's okay. I wanted to start that sugya tonight. I don't think we're gonna get to it. It's 6 hour cheese, so now the guy's parv. He has to eat parv. Right? Believe it or not, this Shiloh does come up. Right? He eats fleischiks. 2 hours later, by mistake, he has 6 hour cheese. For the next 4 hours, he is parv. Right?
After that meal, you still meat?
Yeah, that's what. But the high thing, the poskim manenu say that if you started a dairy meal within 6 hours, you cannot continue that meal. Right?
You also can't eat meat. So
How could you eat power?
Why not?
Anything you're eating, isn't that mixing together the milk and meat and the
You got to wash out your mouth. No, you'd have to wash out your mouth, and then yes, you'd have to wash out your mouth. Okay, so it comes up once in a blue moon that somebody does this, right? Why not?
But
I would think
so you become flesh earlier than you become nothings.
correct. So you're stuck. You're in no man's land. You're in no man's land. That's what it is. Okay, now let's go to the brackets. What else? I made a list over here. What else?
About after the fleshy time, you can only eat milk. You could eat milk because after that, it's two. You ate.
Yeah, after the 4 hours. After the 4 hours, in our example.
Does that come with that second on you average like Mahani with
Hold on, that's all right. What's that? That question has to wait. Okay, that question will have to wait. Yes.
And not afterwards, the 2 hours they finish the meal. If not dairy, then why can't you continue? You can say dairy from then on. Okay.
Well, dairy, you don't have to wait. Regular dairy.
Not dairy from now on.
He is dairy.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't know, we don't wait for dairy. That's what I'm saying, 6 hour cheese. Regular dairy, you don't have to wait anything to eat.
I'm saying you eat meat 2 hours later, but actually you eat dairy.
Right?
So after you finish that meal, you eat dairy from now on. Just have to wait the extra 4 hours.
No, that's what I'm saying. Kavachayim says like what you're saying. Most the Heintiger, the contemporary poskim say no, you have to wait. You have to wait. You still have to wait your other 4 hours. You cannot just eat dairy.
But they say you can finish that meal.
You cannot finish it. You have to stop eating. That's what most of the contemporary poskim say. Okay, that brackets in the Piskei Tshuva Gimel, right? V'ayin b'tshuvas chasam sofer siman ayin gimel the chayla hashoysa mei cholav l'refuasai Afilu hu rak choyle kitzas, ein tzarich lahamten achar achilas basar yosem misha, va'achar shekvar berach birchas hamazon yishte, right? And then that will be B'yirachla, and that will be good for him, right? So the Chassam Sofer is saying, a choyle, even a choyle kitzas, just has to say a bracha achrayna, and then after an hour he could have dairy.
Add cold fever.
So what do you call a choyle kitzas? Okay, so what do you call a choyle kitzas? Yeah, so okay, we'll get to. I'm gonna get to. We'll finish with. We'll almost finish with that, and then we'll get to all the questions. So choyle kitzas. So, if you really don't feel well and you need to have the milchiks, that's fine. Now the shaila is heartburn. Shaila is heartburn. What's the story with heartburn? Is heartburn considered a chayla? Not considered a chayla? So obviously you take Tums or whatever other antacids and stuff, and you should take that instead. Right. So So that already there's poskim that are makel for that. That Tums is already considered food. It's not it's right. But so the shaila is Tums. Okay, it comes up very much in pregnant women and nursing women. Right? They need it either for heartburn or they need it because they just have that's more of a shaila. They just have a craving for dairy. So is that really enough of a reason? Cravings for pregnant women, as we know from the Gemara's in Yuma, that's a serious thing. Right. So Lamaisa, if they need it, so we are makel after an hour, and a real chayla. So some service says wait an hour. A real chayla, maybe you don't even have to wait an hour because Lamaisa you have the sheet of the Ramah. Obviously, we're not talking about chayla sheyesh b'sakana. Chayla sheyesh b'sakana doesn't do anything. The shaila is, do you make the chayla sheyesh b'sakana at least say bracha achrayna l'chayra if they can, right? At least make a bracha achrayna, and you'd have to wash out your mouth. Okay. And what about hataras nadarim for the chayla? Right? No, let's say a pregnant woman. She knows that's it. She's gonna be chayla for the next bunch of months. So should she be mataneder? So there is a dogma mervava. It's an important dogma mervava having nothing to do with basar b'chalav. It's in hilchos nadarim, and a very important dogma mervava that says dogma mervava is Noda Yehuda, who says that if you temporarily need a heter and you don't plan on changing your minig, then you don't need hataras nadarim. Right? It's a major cool. I mean, the shah is why not just be mataneder, but if it's that gets into the BMG shaila. You hope you're only being in BMG for a short amount of time, right? So you're not planning on being there a long time. So now, can you be saimach on the dogma mervava, right? So okay, now just quickly, and then we'll do the questions and we'll stop there. Okay, can you eat? This is a common question. Can you eat pariv made in milchik utensils that are ben yoimai? All right, this gets into, we're going to get into this. This is a major sugya. It's not barnat, whatever it is, but the ma'aser of food is milchik, right? In a ben yoimai.
I'm thinking.
All right, so but the poskim say that's not a problem. Onions cut with a milchik knife are milchiks. Can you eat those onions when you're fleishiks? Right? Otherwise, we look at the onion like it's milchiks. That's a big tone. We'll get back to that in Sif Gimel. Can you taste? The poskim say you're allowed to taste dairy if you're just tasting it, and then you want to spit it out. Let's say you're making a pasta or something, and spit it out, and you can't swallow it. But if you're fleishiks, you could taste dairy and then spit it out, or a baby bottle to see if it's too hot, that type of thing. A common question: sugar in the coffee room. What?
Is that with food in your teeth or without?
No, if you know you have meat in your teeth, then I would think you have to take out the thing. Do you have to be worried that the sugar in the coffee room has some remnants of dairy in it?
No.
Right? That you don't have to worry about. You don't. No, even if you know vaday that people are doing, the price can say you're allowed to have that. It's not considered anything. Yeah.
Not during the Suda.
What?
They do have a spoon of coffee and then put sometimes taken for doubles and.
Right. Yeah. So even if they take doubles and they double dip, the price can say that that's not considered like real dairy, and you can have it after. You can have that. Not during, after your meal, after your meal. Oh, French fry. Oh, so dairy. Let's say you buy from a restaurant that says everything in the restaurant has to be considered like it's dairy. That the poskim also say, as long as it's not straight dairy, then you're allowed to eat it. Now the French fries in the deep fryer, we're gonna get to Bez Hashem at our pace. It's gonna be in 2 weeks. I would like to really get to it next week. That's in Sif Gimel. That's a big tumult with the French fries. The French fries. It's two ways. Number one, if it's from a fleishik restaurant, do they make you fleishiks? And if it's from a milchik restaurant, are you allowed to have it if you're fleishiks? Last and final thing, but we could have mamash an hour share on this. Dairy creamers that have less than 2% dairy in it. Officially, the dairy-free creamers will have dairy in it. It's less than 2%, or even a creamer that is dairy, but it says it has less than 2% dairy, right? Which means it's almost bottled. Bittul b'shishim is 1.6%, give or take. Now you make that into a coffee, and then it's for sure bottled b'shishim. Can you lichatchila make yourself a coffee with this coffee creamer when you're fleishiks? Right?
Most
Now you can say ain't about the nissa lichatchila, but it's not an isser. It's not an isser. It's regular kosher coffee. I can't have it because I'm fleishik. Right? So yeah. Anyways, we're not getting into that whole thing. I think Rabbi Yisrael Belsky held that you can do it. You can make yourself that coffee. I think it was him that said. Others disagree and say you can't make yourself that coffee. There's one thing that I think is for sure. If your friend just made himself the coffee with that, you can go tell him, can I have that coffee?
Yeah.
That's a shaila if you can do it. Somebody else did it.
Can you ask someone else to do it for you?
No, that's the same thing. Again,
Can you hint? Can you hint?
Can you hint? I don't know. Can you hint?
You really want to.
I don't know. You put up a sign that says anybody who makes himself a coffee with coffee cream will not lose. Right? You can maybe do that. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's enough for tonight. I'm sorry if I went a little over time. Okay, for those that want to log off, you're welcome to log off. Otherwise, I'll read some questions here. I see people already logging off. I logged off already. Okay, so into the good talk. Dentures choose only. Okay, we discussed that. Maybe the chashash of people garden is because you might swallow some gravy. We didn't get to that. Okay, that reminds me of something. You have two sets of teeth. We discussed that. I think Invisalign will be the same did. Yeah. Can you clean your teeth right after chewing? Yeah. Okay, but you'd have to wait 6 hours. Yes, we discussed that. Okay, that we also discussed. BMG. Oh, can a wife keep her family minhag of 3 hours if you hold 5? Really, yes. But once Bez Hashem you have kids, that's not a smart idea. But this is not a chinuch class, right? Sleep we discussed. Rav Schwab wouldn't give Talmidim sleep unless they accepted 6 hours. Wow, I never heard that. That's interesting.
Yes,
Rav Schwab, it is a yeki.
Which Schwab?
I'm assuming Rav Shimon Schwab. Either way, what's the difference? They're all fine, learned fellows.
Regular shoes, that's fine.
What if today, if you had shalashudas in between, do you have to wait a full 6? I don't see why not. Cooked hard cheese we'll learn next week, Bez Hashem. Kavetz Halacha says today the Parmesan cheese doesn't require 6 hours. That's a big machlokes. Rabbanan Kotler Grata was pretty makel on that too. Can you drink milk for acid reflux? That we discussed. Sugar is bottled b'shishim, not necessarily, but because it depends how much milk is there. OUDE Oreos with meat is not our sugya. But you can't eat it with meat. You can eat it right after meat. So Shimon Schwab, you want to be unmuted? I don't know how to do unmuted.
It's close.
I mean, every time you say something funny, I'm sure I've been writing it down.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if I could be publicize my list.
On Purim? On Purim.
In general.
Gesundheit. There's more busha for me, the better.
I think trying to read
The
now.
more busha, the more you live in the next. Okay, everybody's on unit if you want to talk.
I regret that I didn't ask him before I did it. I just assumed he would be okay.
I did it to Rabbi Brafman, but for all his funny sayings, I lost the paper. See, because Rabbi Brafman, he was a gadol. When I was in 10th grade, I compiled it. It's probably somewhere in my house. It was great stuff. It was great stuff.
It's
I'm pretty sure I heard that from Rabbi Forrest Shlita.
That what?
I'm pretty sure I heard that from Rabbi Forrest Shlita.
What, the
The
Rashab?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. But because the Kehila there keeps 3, I'm assuming, right?
His great.
Yeah, but he says a entire
Great grandson, yeah.
His great grandson's in my.
Yeah, we get to go to the Chachmas Adam, who the Litvish always go with. The Chachmas Adam is very stark. That pirates gather.
Yeah. But I also learned differently about the
Rabbi said
benching.
both gather's been by snake, or did the Chachos Olam say that? I just want
Pirates gather is Yishana Nachash. That is I don't. That was, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, fine.
Yes.
I know this,
Hold on. Let somebody go in person. Go
I
ahead.
know this is old Shiloh, but I forgot. I came up with the Shabbos with what's called milk that's in a bottle that's from a mother. You can sit next to him on fleshik table or everything fleshik.
A mother's milk is pirate.
So there's a Shiloh. I remember that. I just wanted to double check. I don't know.
Yeah.
Milk
With almond milk.
Formula milk can be a potential issue. What are you saying?
If it needs a hecker like almond milk.
I don't know.
Is that the
No,
time?
no. It wouldn't need a hecker. No, that's if you're eating it together. No.
Right. Yeah.
Babies eating it together.
No, that's Yeah. What are you saying, Gershon?
I think I was taught the Ramah differently than what you said about benching with 6 hours.
Yeah.
I don't think of this Ramah is based on the 2 ways of learning the Gemara.
Right.
Misuda means either immediately once you bench, or it means 6 hours.
Can't hear you, Claire. I don't know. You're blanking out.
Either Misuda means immediately once you've benched, or
Right.
it means 6 hours. But if it means 6 hours, it does not require benching, I don't think. That's a separate Mishnah in Shavuos, whether you can eat on the same
Well, that's that we're gonna get to next week. Yeah, the milchiks to the fleishiks.
But that's a separate thing. But as far as 6 hours goes, you don't need to bench.
No, the
As far as-
shaila is we should have discussed. The shaila is do you need kinuach hanadocha after 6 hours? Right, but Birchas Hamazon you need. I think that's what the poskim say.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. You sure you?
We also shows as only as the form.
Right. Yeah.
The what? The Ramah is not mashma like that at all.
The Ramah is not why.
The Ramah clearly says that the benching is for immediately. The Yasham Redei Tzrich Lam
Yeah.
The first way is based on Birchas Hamazon. Then he says the Minika Pashut is 1 hour. That also requires Birchas Hamazon because of the first reason.
Then
6 hours is a separate reason. It's a separate way of learning the Gemara.
Right, but if you're going with the Iker, if you're going with the Iker Adin, then it needs to be a different Suda.
If you go with the Radin, but we don't. We go with 6 hours. 6 hours is a completely different way of explaining the Gemara. What does the Gemara 6 hours mean? The Suda. I mean, 6 hours doesn't mean.
I don't know. I have to look, but I'm pretty sure that's what the Achronim said. Right?
I don't know what. I mean, the Ramah doesn't say it.
He does. He's saying by the hour.
Yeah, but what is? Why does he say by the hour? Right. Then he
says the medactic was because the whole thing is
no,
what
because the divrei makilin.
Let me just stop the record. Hold on. Let me stop the record.